and welcome to Inside CRCAIH. I'm DenYelle Kenyon, filling in for our host, Melissa Buffalo. Today I have with me Dr. Heather Peters, talking about her 2014 CRCAIH pilot grant project, Culturally Based Curriculum, wicozani, and a Suicidal Ideation for Dakota Youth. Welcome, Heather, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so first, can you talk about why you chose this topic?
Yeah, I began working with Dakota probably about 5 years ago now, and about 10 years ago they did elder interviews with the elders in their community because unfortunately, language was on the decline, and the elders in the community, they wanted to ask them questions about just their experience with language, and they took those elder interviews and they created a documentary, Dakota Yapi Te Un Hin Dayapi, and they toured that around Minnesota, and they presented that to teachers, and the teachers really wanted more curriculum information so that they could use that in the classrooms, and so they decided that they would take those elder interviews and individuals at the University of Minnesota, myself, and then my research assistants transcribed them and qualitatively analyzed them. And then they took that information and then they created a curriculum. So that was kind of that curriculum piece of it. But then also, Dakota Wichohan has worked with youth since their inception over 10 years ago now. And, there unfortunately were suicides within the community, and just students sometimes feeling a lack of sense of belonging in the school, and so we really kind of took all of those pieces of information, and that helped us to this project of looking at how a cultural intervention in the schools would influence the student's sense of belonging, their connectedness, and then hopefully improve their wicozani and decrease their suicidal ideation.
Wonderful. So talk about how you incorporated culturally appropriate approaches in that research.
Well, really from the very beginning, right? It was really DW and our co-researchers, because we've been working on other research projects, but really they're in the driver's seat. So really it's whatever they're interested in. Myself and the University of Minnesota Morris is really an ally to them. And so they decided what the research questions were going to be, what the intervention was going to be. They were really collaborators throughout the entire project. In regards to analyzing the data, the study got approved by their board, just like it got approved by the University of Minnesota's IRB. So really every step of the way involved. We even had Dakota research assistants working on the data entry and the data analysis and everything. And then also we used talking circles, which is a indigenous kind of approach to gathering qualitative data, and so really the whole project was really utilizing culturally appropriate methods and strategies.
Great. Oh, so good to hear. And can you talk about how your findings are going to be applied broadly or built upon?
Yeah. A couple of ways. One is, we've used this tool that we've created, the wicozani scale, which is from a Dakota worldview. Health is really interrelated, and so there's emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health, and that's kind of wicozani represents that, the overall health. And so oftentimes within to measure health, we take a Western approach, right? We go in and we measure diabetes and weight and kind of these negative things, and so this kind of flips that, and it really puts the youth and the Dakota people in responsible for identifying how they perceive their health versus kind of an outsider coming in and using these Western measures of health. So that's one thing that I think can be utilized more broadly, is having communities kind of identify how they want to measure their own health, and then in giving them back that power, which I think is one thing. Also, how you can include Native story in curriculum and in schools, and the power that that can have for Native students, which I think is really exciting. And then like kind of taking this further. We're going to be DW's gotten a couple of grants to continue spreading this out to additional teachers throughout the state. And so looking at how it influences Native and also non-Native students, and seeing, when other students of color or groups of students of color see how this curriculum was created by their communities, maybe other communities of color will kind of get encouraged to create their own curriculum and get that adopted by the school so that their stories can be told within schools.
Oh, so glad to hear the program is going to keep going.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Good. Well, can't wait to hear more. And if you'd like to hear more about their pilot grant and findings, please see the pilot grant seminar series that's going to be available on our website, www.CRCAIH.org. And thank you again, Dr. Peters, for the work that you do and taking time to visit with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. And we will see you next time.